Aficionados que viven la intensidad del fútbol americano, vamos a continuar con la Liga Vikingos. Y tenemos ahora en la semana 10 el enfrentamiento entre los Vikingos de Minnesota que reciben a los Santos de Nueva Orleans. Pues el récord de los Santos realmente es negativo, van 4 ganados, 5 perdidos, mientras que los Vikingos continúan su camino impresionante, invictos durante lo que va de la temporada 2023. Ahora bien, tenemos algunas actividades previas al encuentro. La primera de ellas es recordar los premios de la semana pasada, los mejores ofensivos y defensivos por la Nacional. Alejandro Álvarez a la ofensiva y Chris Álvarez a la defensiva de los Vikingos. Por la americana coincidió también que Josh Allen, quarterback, y Von Miller a la abierta defensiva, a la defensiva derecha, fueron los ganadores de estos premios a los mejores jugadores. Ahora tenemos un breakout ofensivo. Vamos a ver de qué se trata. Se trata de que Enrique Álvarez habla con el coach. Siento que los últimos par de semanas la ofensiva realmente ha estado impresionante. Es exactamente la mentalidad que yo quiero que tengan. Y estamos todos listos para cada semana para poder sacar cada juego. Jugar hacia adelante, lanzar 3 o más touchdowns en contra de los Santos para un juego por pase, un plan de juego aéreo. Y tenemos 4 jugadores listos para negociar. Vamos a ver de quién se trata. KJ Osborne ya no está interesado. Qué bueno. Vamos a negociar con Kyrie Tonga. Tiene 27 años. Quiere un contrato de 2 años. Vamos a ver. Parece que no le gusta lo que se le está presentando. La verdad es que pues por la edad ya no le podemos ofrecer más. Pues parece que sí le gustó. Tenemos a Marquise Haynes, 29 años y prácticamente cero interés en firmar con el equipo. Por lo tanto, ¿verdad? Le vamos a ofrecer lo mismo que le ofrecimos la vez anterior. Si no lo quiere, pues no le gusta nada de lo que se le está ofreciendo. Bueno, pues allá él. Por otro lado tenemos otro igual que el anterior, cero interés en firmar con nosotros y continuar con el equipo básicamente. Vamos a ver cuál es la oferta. Le vamos a ofrecer lo mismo a Nick Harris. Obviamente no le gusta la idea. Bueno, tenemos otro que está en las mismas circunstancias, un linebacker externo, Jonathan Garvin, que tampoco tiene ningún interés. Vamos a negociar. No te vamos a ofrecer más. Y los demás serán para la próxima semana. Bien, continuando con las conversaciones, tenemos un breakout del igual quarterback. Una rueda de prensa dice: coach, la semana pasada fue otro de los grandes trabajos estelares de Fernando Álvarez. ¿Cuáles son sus expectativas para esta semana? Nosotros hemos creado una reputación, él se ha creado una reputación por sí mismo y él juega siempre un alto nivel para poder alcanzar el triunfo en cada uno de los partidos. Continúa, sé grande otra vez lanza uno o menos intercepciones y ten cuando menos 400 yardas a partir de la línea de scrimmage o 4 anotaciones de touchdown como para una cantidad significativa. Okay. Tenemos algunos jugadores que quieren progresar. Por lo pronto, vamos a ver cómo están los fatigosos. Al 99%, creo que está bien, no lo voy a cambiar. Y nos vamos a cuidar de Derek Carr, que tiene como uno de los grandes ofensivos a cuidar. Por otro lado está Demario Davis, un linebacker central, para que tratar de mejorar los bloqueos para carreras por el centro, es decir, por dentro de la línea. ¿Cómo están nuestros fatigosos? Están fatigados. Pues vamos a ponerlos a halfback. Yo me inclinaré también por el wide receiver. Ok. Entonces, listo todo para que empiece el entrenamiento. Tenemos 6 jugadores a mantener el enfoque: Fernando Zamudio, Jorge Escamilla, Chris Álvarez, Fernando Álvarez, el quarterback, Alex Álvarez, el corredor, y Enrique Álvarez, el receptor abierto. Y como pueden ver, las estadísticas del equipo: somos la defensiva número 1 y la ofensiva número 1. Y en todos y cada uno de los departamentos somos la número 1. Muy bien, vamos a empezar el entrenamiento. Bueno, ellos van a entrenar, por supuesto, nosotros no participamos. Tenemos que Alex Álvarez tiene una fatiga de -7, el quarterback de -9 y Justin Jefferson de -3. Y en cuanto a la defensiva, pues no están tan fatigados. -1, o sea que pues ahí va la cosa, compañeros. Algunos jugadores que van a recibir habilidades son el quarterback Fernando Álvarez, que va a mejorar el scrambler. Correcto. Muy bien. Chris Álvarez, el linebacker externo, estrella de la defensiva. Entonces, es ya un X-Factor, un Superstar X-Factor. No es para menos. Miguel Aranda. Pues ahí va Miguel. Es también ya una star. Pues los tenemos a ellos. Ya, Sergio Camacho también. Vamos a darle progreso a la parte más baja. Perfecto. Entonces ya también nosotros star. Es un equipo plagado de estrellas. Ahora vamos con los objetivos de cada uno de los coaches. El objetivo del head coach es ganar la batalla de los turnovers, de las pérdidas de balón. Y se le va a exigir a los coordinadores ofensivo y defensivo en lo máximo. Así es que ahí está. Y como saben, el único game plan que se tiene semanal es anotar 5 touchdowns por tierra. Se logra porque se logra. Bien, vámonos ya al estadio. Cámaras y micrófonos mandamos a nuestros colegas de la cadena norteamericana EA Sports para que ellos se hagan cargo de la transmisión del partido. Nosotros volveremos al final del encuentro. Que tengan un gran entretenimiento y sea para ustedes muy, muy agradable. Nos vemos al final.
Today, from U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, it's Week 10 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Minnesota Vikings taking on the New Orleans Saints.
Well, later tonight, a November snowfall is forecasted to hit the Twin Cities, but right now, calm outside, and of course, a calm day inside U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today, we hit double digits, Week 10, and we've got a good one in store, as it'll be the New Orleans Saints taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They've been the talk of the NFL so far. 9 wins in their first 9 games.
And some people subscribe to the theory that a loss might not be the worst thing for them. They've had it easy all year long. How would they do handling adversity?
Just about time to rock as toe gets ready to meet leather. And we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. So here come the Saints to take over for the first time. And here's the new man under center after 9 seasons as a Raider. Derek Carr is the guy.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Here's Carr to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down.
2 plays so far, a run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at all.
Looking for a better play coming up on 3rd. And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Carr now to throw. Oh, his first throw of the game, going to be intercepted. A beautiful fake. And he'll take this back down inside the 20.
And part of why they came to this week with a winning record is that they feed off of mistakes like this, and now it's a prime opportunity. Just moments in the game to get a short field touchdown off of their big defensive play. Now, on the other side, they were already the underdog in this one. They just made their uphill battle just a little bit tougher.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Now a first carry for their fullback. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. And this is picked up by the Saints.
Tell me I didn't just see these first 2 possessions. I mean, is this one of those cases of anything you can do, I can do
better?
Maybe not better, huh?
Worse?
Yeah, just a little bit. Very sloppy start. I think maybe a case of the nerves for both teams.
And now we're back to an even playing field. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. They'll take over deep in their own end after the fumble recovery as they start 1st and 10. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. 1st and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. They'll try and run this one right up the gut. He gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Vikings take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. First quarter touchdown run. Remember this coming on the heels of his NFC Offensive Player of the Week performance that was so great last week.
Did you feel the rumble all the way up here in the
big
booth?
Bodies up front.
Big bodies moving people, and him, of course, charging through those great holes that were created.
So off to a great start here. Maybe looking for award number 2, adding to the award that he won last week in the NFC. Extra point attempt to come here. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. Well, maybe that'll help him settle back into a groove after the interception on the first drive here, picking up the first to start drive number 2.
And it is just starting over, isn't it? Sometimes it's just how you have to do it. You have to erase things from your mind. Don't worry about what happened before, because over the course of a game, the good players, things turn out pretty well for them, and that's what he's trying to do here.
So, Charles, this defense going to have its hands full all game long, you'd have to figure, facing the man second in the NFL in passing yards. What's the course of action here defensively?
Well, we all know that every down seems to have equal importance. But for this game, they're putting it all on third down. Make sure they stop them there, get off the field, and that way they can turn the ball over to their offense and feel good about how this game's progressing.
They fake the handoff. Now Carr. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, no surprise to see that one, partner. The league's #1 defense coming through with a huge pick six.
And it's plays like that one that have made them the most feared group to face this year. Offenses, they're trying to figure out how to work around them rather than work through them. Big-time impact playmakers scattered throughout the unit on every level, and they can change a game at a moment's notice.
Extra point attempt here still to come. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Well, the road ahead a little bit more difficult now after that pick six. So dealing with this deficit here, we'll see if he can try to make amends on this drive. 1st and 10. Carr going to lead the Saints up here 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. He'll start with a give to Kamara. He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. In a word, I would say productive, finding the end zone 3 different times.
Is it possible that you're really underselling it? 3 touchdowns, just going to call him productive?
Right. I mean, what do you want?
This guy had a nose for the end zone.
He was good.
Had a snoot full, didn't he? How about that? Big-time game.
Shotgun now for Carr. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And Kamara's going to have a Saints first down as he'll get this up past the 40. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Well, they'll use him a lot out of the backfield. He had 5 catches a week ago, and he makes another catch here for good yardage.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. You look at this defense for the Vikings. They played extremely well last week in the win over Atlanta.
They forced 7 turnovers.
How many?
7.
7.
I mean, think about
7.
that number now. That's supposed to be a lucky number, right? Lucky for one side, unlucky for the other.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Carr. He gets this one complete to Traquan Smith. And he'll get this up near midfield, but that's still a few yards shy of the first down. So 8 yards on the completion there, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this punt sails over the sideline. And the spot, it looks to be right at the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. All right, Charles, we've spoken about this offense plenty, how great they've been all year. 9-0 now, into the back half of the season. Super Bowl favorites, without a doubt. I think everyone agrees on that. What do you think is the thing that most stands between them and a perfect season?
I think it's themselves. I think it's their team, how they approach things, how they conduct themselves during the week, practicing, getting ready, and then going out and playing. Can't take your foot off the gas pedal at this stage. Doesn't matter if it's a weak team you're playing or not. Look, when I talk with one of the best golfers of all time, he told me he never played against the field. He just played against himself and his own standard.
He's going to try and go deep again. And that's caught inside the 35. A big play there for Minnesota. 58 yards.
Well, partner, that's how you make a long drive suddenly not so long anymore. One big play, and they're already in field goal range with designs on getting more than that.
A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
On second down, here's the option. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. Pretty good job there defensively of stringing that one out.
Yeah, you've got a quarterback who's waiting and waiting for something to develop, and it just never materialized, and down he went behind the line of scrimmage.
That is caught. Touchdown. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass this young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed, aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen, and it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
So that drive, 6 plays, 75 yards. And it's polished off by a Viking score. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
And Carr's throw caught by Olave. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Throwing now is Carr. There's a short one to the tight end, Johnson. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a first down. Kamara try the right side, and that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Here's Carr. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this 1st quarter. And the Vikings are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Well, there are several factors at play for why they face this deficit right now, Charles, but that's now 3 interceptions that he has thrown and just giving the football away. Pretty careless here in the opening half.
Yeah, I know that all of our parents taught us to share as youngsters, but in this game, you don't want to share with the other team. Keep it for yourself. Keep it for your team. Got to cut down on all of those throws, those errant passes, if they hope to get back into this game.
And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. 21-0 our score after 1. 2nd down and 4. 2nd quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 4 coming up. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking 1st down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll set up a throw. And this is incomplete. Very lucky to get that one back. That nearly picked. It's 2nd down now.
I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. Got a nice lead. You should be able to protect it. But if you get careless with the football, look out.
And good running, going to get this down close to a 1st at the Saints 29. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
There you go, partner. That's some old school football right there. You need 1 yard? Give it to your bruiser fullback and let him get the job done.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Vikings are able to widen their lead here in this 1st half. Well, it's not too often that you say, hey, this one's going to be over by halftime. And, CD, I know our bosses probably don't want us to say that because they don't want people clicking away, but this one might be over by halftime.
And since you've already put your job on the line by actually saying it, I will co-sign and go with you because you're my partner. We don't mean to do it, but this game has been exactly as you've described. I see no hope for them going forward.
Extra point right down the middle. And the route is on here in this 1st half. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The focus goes back to Chris Olave, the Saints offense. And CD, assuming he stays healthy, assuming the health, should get to that 1,000-yard mark pretty easily.
And the best part of what he's done so far is it allows him and the team to relax their pursuit a little bit. Meaning, if they just have normal games, they'll get to the 1,000-yard mark. They don't have to force anything. But one of the reasons he's having the year he's having is what I call route running arrogance. They think there's no one that can cover them. No matter how many people are put in his direction, it just doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to beat them. And so far this year, he's done exactly that.
He sure has.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. From the gun, it's Carr. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And that is too far out in front. He couldn't haul it in. Incomplete.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
A 39-yard punt, a return of 5, and it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Give him 30 yards there.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Now a handoff running through the middle. And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. 67 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. His 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have taken a 5-touchdown lead. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it was finished off with a 10-yard touchdown scamper. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also
7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to bring up second down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Here's Kamara off the draw. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. 93 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game.
And having built that kind of a lead, they're able to do whatever they want right now. All momentum on their side, especially now running the football.
Yeah, you talk about a defense being on their toes. They don't know what's going to hit them next at this point.
No, they went from toes to heels, and they're trying to figure out how to get back to the toes part.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. High throw, but the catch is made. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On the give, this is their fullback. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 13-yard gain yet again, just like last play.
Usually the big fella's a blocker, a lead back, but he gets the ball on 1st down. What a surprise for everyone. And as a former safety, if he breaks into the secondary and you see him coming, you just know that's a whole lot of man you've got to deal with now.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And the Vikings are going to be set up with a 1st and goal here as the tackle made at the 9.
Well, this is a defense that's definitely on their heels now because they gave up the running play for good yardage 1 play ago. Now the pass here sets this offense up 1st and goal. They're going to have to dig in strong now because they've been in retreat so far in this drive. This offense on the march.
And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4.
A good solid gain there on 1st down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Now an option play, and he'll keep it. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. Third and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. He'll drop to throw. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. They call it a loss of a yard there. And that's going to make it 4th down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and the Saints will have the football back. So the defense asked to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. It doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be second down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Smith. And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. On first down, Carr goes right back to Smith again. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Now Carr again. There's a short one to the tight end, Johnson. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Now this one taken in by Olave. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Meanwhile, Carr's throw complete there to Thomas. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw is Carr. He's got Smith here. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota with the Vikings on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in a minute, but first, let's take a spin around the NFL and see what's going on here in week number 10. We'll begin up in the Steel City, Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. And it's the Steelers out in front in the second quarter. Najee Harris with a couple of touchdowns there. From there, we head over to the Windy City. Check on the Bears at home, Soldier Field. And it was the visiting Carolina Panthers who were victorious in that one. Kirk Cousins, 4 touchdown passes in the victory. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to check on the Patriots. And that one all tied.
Back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. So here are the Vikings to take over. They are working on that very impressive 9-game win streak, looking to get it to 10 as they've got the lead here, 1st and 10. They've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Good solid gain on first down, about what you'd expect from the big guy carrying the ball.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's a give up the middle. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football.
Sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Open man is Osborne. He's got him. And he will have a Vikings first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4. Now back to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's caught inside the 20. A big play there for Minnesota. 46 yards.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll try and run this one right up the gut. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Vikings take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Boy, another score. This lead gets even bigger. And, Charles, we haven't even hit the 4th quarter yet.
Well, forget the deficit, right? They're really not going to cut into that a heck of a lot. But how can they get out of here with some dignity? Can they get a stop or two? Can they make a play on offense themselves? Anything to start to feel better about what's happened to them here in this one.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. Carr going to lead the Saints up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. We're just looking at the scoreboard and where we're at in the 3rd quarter. I don't know that it's going to matter much at this point, CD, but these small runs on the ground, they're not going to get it done.
No, they're not. And right now, the guys stopping the run have been superior in this ball game, giving them no openings, no seams, and now they've got this game well in hand.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down, and that will be incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. And out now come the Vikings. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
And this will be a Vikings first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line. Breaks through the contact, and he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. And he's taken down here by the Saints. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry up. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down. They'll set up to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to pick up the Vikings first down, and that was something else. A big pickup on 4th and long to give them a new set of downs. And this will be a gain of 6 when it's all said and done, down to the 15 from the 21. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown. Justin Jefferson with an acrobatic catch. And the Vikings are pouring it on. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it was all capped off by Justin Jefferson's touchdown reception. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. The New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Now Carr throwing on second down. To the right side and complete to Thomas. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. To throw, it's Carr. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Back to the air on second down. It's Carr. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. They'll get this out to Kamara. And down he'll go at the 25. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and out will come the offense as they take over. And now out comes Minnesota. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game planned for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can stay.
That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. becoming just the second player with 30 touchdowns in a single year. And the Vikings get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Well, Charles, kind of the future of this franchise on display right there. You had a rookie throwing it, a rookie catching it, and taking it into the end zone.
Could you imagine if we were in the owner's box right now and we could look at the front office and see the grins on their faces, to see the present making plays and knowing what the future will bring with these youngsters going out and making big-time moments happen for this team.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. The New Orleans offense set to take over. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
On second down, Kamara. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. This defense just continues to bottle up that ground game. And look, I mean, the deficit right now for this offense is so big that it might not matter. But you're still in the third quarter. They're probably going to have to try things through the air, Charles.
I agree with you totally. That's what they'll have to do. They do need to run it occasionally to take a few hits off the quarterback, because right now, you just know those pass rushers are fired up to get after him.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now Carr. Thomas has got it, complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Now Carr. Smith catches left side. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down. Again, they'll throw with Carr. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. 3rd and 4, he did just enough, and I mean just enough to move the chains.
And that's all you're looking for, right? Just want to keep the drive moving. You don't need the big play there. Just get to that marker that you described, and he was able to do just that.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. A quick throw there is incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time, and it's 2nd down. Now Carr. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
From the gun now on 3rd down, Carr. Throw left side complete. That's Smith. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. The Vikings head out to take over once again. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? Best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding.
There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Vikings. Justin Jefferson, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Vikings add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the 4th quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like 4th quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Now the try here for the point after. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. One play drive and into the end zone for 6. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish. Carr going to lead the Saints up here 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side, and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Well, that's a perfect example of how he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's game. He is just all around the football right now, isn't he?
That he is, and it's funny because I talked with the coaching staff about drills that they do in practice, and one of them is called matching hands. And as soon as that hand is launched by the quarterback, you throw up the opposite hand and match that hand with the QB, and oftentimes you're able to knock it away, as we just saw there. At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and they will take over 1st and 10. There's a glimpse of Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver, as he and the Minnesota Vikings return back here on offense. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
Now he's loose again. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. 64 yards. And the Vikings are going to be moving to 10-0 as they add on to this big lead. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, You could just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The New Orleans offense set to take over. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
Carr to throw on second down. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, what has been a fantastic game for this defense has been rough for this offense, and certainly a signal caller, Charles, that's thrown all these interceptions. Another one there, and this one taken all the way back for the score.
Partner hoping they're holding a nice little spot in the post-game highlights to show this rip of interceptions and great plays this group has made. They've been on it from snap one.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick six put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them. Carr going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. After the pick six, they go right back to the air. And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
Muscles him off and able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. Down inside the 20. Wow, 204 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. 2nd and 3. And that is caught. And he has now tied the record. Touchdown. Well, to put it mildly, he's been able to dice up this secondary all game long. And this time, that was a missile that he threw into the end zone and adding another touchdown to his ledger.
And I think we see these youngsters develop a lot quicker than we ever have because when they get started in this game, they're not just throwing passes around. They're reading coverages early. So now they're like seasoned pros earlier in their career. How about this one here? If they win this ball game, a game ball definitely coming from his head coach.
Extra point splits the uprights. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Saints coming out now to take the field. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Carr now to throw. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And just like that, it's 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
For a rookie first-rounder, he's made a huge impact on this defense, but that tells me that they had a plan for him when they drafted him. Just turn him loose, do what you do best, go get the quarterback.
Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on to kick it away. And this will be down just inside the 30-yard line. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
Partner, you and I have struggled with this for years. You've got the lead. Just take care of the football and burn some of that clock. But there's something to be said for not taking your foot off the gas as well, because you can never have too big of a cushion. That one, though, falls incomplete.
And they're going to speed things up here. Back to throw now on 1st down. Justin Jefferson bringing in the slant. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Flush to his right. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Options galore here. 2nd and a few inches. Now a throw here, hauled in. He's got room to roam. And finally wrestled down at the 11. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. A handoff as they run the counter play. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. 2nd and 6. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Touchdown, Vikings! From 8 yards out. And the Vikings are closing in on win number 10 as they extend this fourth quarter lead. They seemingly just continue to score at will, and as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win. But one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them. Because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
Point after, right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. A 10th carry for Kamara. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Carr gonna throw. Pitch and catch to Moreau, the tight end. Now the stiff arm created some space initially, but he's taken down not long after. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be 4th down.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop him well short.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. There's the stiff arm. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Oh, a leap, and he will make the catch. That one good for 37 yards. So now following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10. They'll look to throw. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. They'll look to throw again. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Another touchdown here in the 4th quarter. And, Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And, partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball and sometimes even your special teams. And that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
Now it's Kamara in the passing game. Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw and a good one.
Throwing on first down is Carr. Over the middle to Smith. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 10 more there and another first down. Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now, but as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably... And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. It'll be a loss of 10, and it'll bring up second.
Talk about two sides of the ball at cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. That front seven, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. And Carr's throw complete there to Smith. A gain of 8 there on the play. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Vikings, they keep on rolling 10-0 now to start the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Denver Broncos. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, it was a game they really needed as they drop back to 4-6. And they'll get a late bye next week, which might be coming at the right time. And they'll be back in action in Week 12. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Regresamos a la transmisión en vivo, digo en vivo en español, para llevarles las estadísticas y los comentarios finales del partido. Podemos ver aquí que Fernando Álvarez tuvo un muy, muy buen juego. Lo que siempre le voy a celebrar es que no le intercepten. Logró el rating perfecto en sus 23 pases completos de 29 intentos para 79% de pases completos. Casi logra las 500 yardas y 7 touchdowns logró. Por el lado de los corredores tenemos a Alex Álvarez, que nuevamente rebasa las 200 yardas en un juego, en 14 acarreos para un promedio de 16 yardas por acarreo. Es más que excelente, está en la cima de lo más excelso de los corredores, es el mejor de toda la liga. Y luego tenemos a David Quintana, que tuvo 6 acarreos para 40 yardas, y Juan Carlos Quintanilla, que anotó un touchdown en sus 3 acarreos para 16 yardas. También tenemos a Fernando Álvarez, que corrió 3 veces para 7 yardas. Y esos son los corredores más importantes. En cuanto a receptores, pues tenemos a Enrique Álvarez con 213 yardas en 9 recepciones y 3 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson 124 en 4 recepciones y 2 touchdowns. Efraín Olmos también anotó 2 recepciones, 71 yardas y un touchdown. Y el otro touchdown lo anotó Alex Álvarez en un pase de unas 5 yardas, más o menos 5 o 6 yardas para anotación. En cuanto a la defensiva, ahora estuvo muy floja. Ahora nuestro defensivo estrella estuvo realmente apagado. Tenemos que Fernando Zamudio fue el mejor tacleador del equipo. 8 personales, 2 asistencias para un total de 10 tacleadas. Y tuvo 2 intercepciones, una para anotación. Eso fue sensacional. También tenemos el siguiente mejor del equipo de Vikingos fue Miguel Ángel Aranda con 4 tacleadas personales. También tuvo una intercepción, también un juego excepcional. Luego le siguió Omar Cobb con 4 personales, 2 asistencias, 6 en total, y una intercepción también. Luego viene John Alex Hidalgo, que también tuvo 3 tacleadas personales, una asistencia, 4 en total. Después Henry Zamudio, que tuvo 3 personales, una asistencia, 4 en total. Luis Mercado, que logró también 3 personales, una asistencia, 4 en total y 2 para pérdida de yardaje. Después Benny Escamilla, 3-2 para 5, 2 para pérdidas de yardaje y 2 capturas de quarterback. En esta liga vamos a ver que, por ejemplo, Chris Álvarez, que normalmente es un cazacabezas sensacional, esta vez lo contuvieron. Apenas logró 2 tacleadas solo, 3 asistencias, ninguna captura de quarterback. Realmente fue muy raro. Pero bueno, no todos los juegos se puede, ¿verdad? Después tenemos que los 2 mejores cabezas fueron Benny Escamilla y Sergio Camacho, 2 y 2 cada uno. Y uno del equipo de los Santos a través de Yannick Ngakoue y uno de Artie Martínez. Hasta ahí llegaron los cazacabezas. Como les decía, en cuanto a intercepciones, Fernando Zamudio tuvo 2, una para anotación. Miguel Aranda tuvo 1, no anotó. Otra tuvo Alan Álvarez, que también fue para anotación, o no me acuerdo. Y otra de Omar Color. Ahorita vemos quién de los dos fue el otro que anotó. Fue Alan. Alan Álvarez y Fernando Samuel fueron los dos que anotaron, llevaron a la anotación sus intercepciones. En cuanto a las anotaciones por cuarto, 21-0 en el primer cuarto Minnesota, 14-3 Minnesota, 21-0 en el tercer cuarto para Minnesota, y finalmente en el último cuarto, el mejor de todos los cuartos en cuanto a anotaciones para Minnesota fue 42-0. Lo que hizo en 2 cuartos lo hizo en 1. Es decir, en 1 incluyó lo que hizo en 2 cuartos. Muy bien. Finalmente, estas son las estadísticas globales. Como pueden ver, el equipo ganó por 98-3. Su total de yardas ofensivas fue 772-171. Logró 293 por tierra y 479 por aire. Adelante. No. ¿Qué necesitas? Ahorita voy. Ahorita dame unos 2 minutos, ¿sí? Y tenemos 20 primeros y 10 contra 13. En cuanto a los turnovers, pues Vikingos no tuvo ninguna. 5 tuvo el equipo de los Santos. Y pues todos los demás datos estadísticos aquí los pueden ver. En tiempo de posesión casi parejos. Cargado un poquito en favor de los Santos, pero no les sirvió de nada. Solo pudieron anotar 3 puntos. Y pues así las cosas, el juego termina con una victoria apabullante de los Vikingos de Minnesota en casa, diciéndole a los Santos: a mi casa no vengas porque te va a ir mal. Agradecemos que nos hayan visto, que nos sigan en cada semana, y pues los esperamos la próxima semana, si Dios lo permite. Y nos despedimos como siempre diciéndoles hasta la vista, babies.